After absolutely shaking up the MBA admissions world in 2024 by replacing its long-running single application essay prompt with 3 new short essays, Harvard Business School took an entire year plus to make the most modest tweaks to its 2025-2026 application essays. The school is still positioning its questions as business-minded, leadership-focused, and growth-oriented, but it's cut some of the details. The wording before was pretty cumbersome, and our guess is that they were trying to eliminate some confusion, and we also suspect that in simplifying the questions themselves, they're trying to avoid any accusation of an effort to elicit responses that require a discussion of diversity because of the program's ongoing battles with the Trump administration. That can be a separate video. As I just noted, HBS states that it's looking for applicants who are business-minded, leadership-focused, and growth-oriented. And in doing so, they are rare among MBA programs in that they directly tie their essay questions to their stated admissions criteria. Before you begin to fret about whether you have acceptable business-minded, leadership-focused, and growth-oriented stories, I would argue that these terms are so broad and all-encompassing that the vast majority of applicants will have no trouble generating multiple ideas they could use for each of their essays. But simply expressing ideas isn't your endgame, of course. You need to develop a suite of essays that accomplishes 2 main things. First, your essays have to do more than just reflect core experiences or accomplishments. They must reveal your values. So much of your application is static or fact-based. If your GMAT scores, transcript, even your resume and short answers are to an extent informational, though your values should come through subtly in those latter 2 elements. You have 3 explicit opportunities to really showcase who you are. So don't flood the AdCom with strict accomplishments. Really ask yourself whether you're conveying your spirit and personality. Second, and anyone who follows our channel should know exactly what I'm going to say now, because this is just mbaMission and Jeremy Shinewald orthodoxy. You must keep the admissions reader learning about you from one essay to the next. If you share 3 accomplishments in your 3 HBS essays, all from the same work project, the odds are overwhelming that you'll end up boring or frustrating the reader with your second and certainly your third essay. You can draw from the same environment for the different stories you choose to tell, but each story needs to reveal a different skill or value. So if you led the overhaul of a core product and were a very thoughtful mentor to a junior colleague, you can certainly tell these 2 work-related stories. But if you just repeat the same product management story or experience from one essay to the second to the third, you'll miss out on a significant opportunity to inform and impress the AdCom. Be intentional about your suite of HBS essays to ensure that the AdCom gets multiple windows into your experience and values. Almost ready to dig in, but first I want to mention our new free book of 50 sample application essays from successful HBS admits. And these are the new essays, not the old ones. Of course, you shouldn't attempt to emulate these essays, but if you need some inspiration, you'll find plenty in our book. Use the link below to download your free copy. Let's discuss the newest essay questions for now. Let's look at essay 1, business-minded. Please reflect on how your choices have influenced your career path and aspirations. You may be looking at this prompt and saying to yourself, wait, this is the simplified prompt? I'm afraid so. Your choices is a very vague way of eliciting information. Hopefully you can identify a pivotal or catalytic experience that's influenced your career choices. This experience might have occurred in your personal life, extracurricular activities, academic life, or even an early professional role that led you to your existing path. The area from which the story comes isn't as important as the magnitude of that formative experience. You need to show that certain experiences have driven meaningful choices you've made and are fueling your sense of purpose. You need to show that linkage. Then you must demonstrate an awareness of the impact you can have when that purpose manifests. And not in a trite way where you discuss being a change agent. You need to show that you truly comprehend your role and that you have a clear and plausible ambition that flows from your skills and experience. And that you have a realistic and potentially powerful way of wielding that potential so you can create broad benefits going forward. Please don't try to pander to the AdCom with your choice of goal. A lot of applicants will do a backflip to ensure that they present the AdCom with some kind of social mission. Don't fall into that temptation. You can have a positive impact on others in many ways by building organizations with integrity, by reflecting on stakeholders as you manage your career. If you do have a social mission, that's great. But if you don't, you won't be offering a credible linkage by simply stating that you do. Don't just write what you think the AdCom wants to hear, please. Let's look at essay 2, the leadership-focused essay. What experiences have shaped how you invest in others and how you lead? 250 words. Here again, you're asked to identify a core shaping experience, one that led you to the perspective you have today. Go back to your initial brainstorming and select an experience that will allow the admissions reader to learn something new about you. The story you present in your essay should undeniably have been a catalyst. There's that word again, a catalyst for you. It should be clear to the reader that the experience was one that obviously affected you dramatically, that shaped you and altered your perspective on how you invest in others and commit yourself to their growth. Of course, showing how you've invested in others is critical. You can't just say, and this mentor inspires me to this day. How? You have to show both cause and effect, and that effect should have a real example. We want to learn how you invest and lead. A word of caution. Many applicants will see the word leader and assume that they need to show that they are the individual who gives that rousing speech and leads everyone into battle. If that truly is you, great. But it isn't most people, and you shouldn't be afraid to discuss other forms of leadership. For example, you can lead through persuasion. You can lead through example, service to others, conviction, integrity, and so on. As long as you can show the root of your leadership style, show the AdCom how you leverage that leadership perspective to influence others, and pinpoint areas for development going forward, you'll have very much answered this essay question. Now, essay 3, growth-oriented. Curiosity can be seen in many ways. Please share an example of how you've demonstrated curiosity and how that's influenced your growth. 250 words. Theoretically, you can be curious about an infinite number of things, from something as broad as the unknown shape of the universe to something as specific as finding the best dumpling in your hometown. Know that the object of your curiosity is not as important as your pursuit of it. In this essay, you must reveal a certain kind of doggedness or spirited dedication to this knowledge or this experience. The pursuit should be a metaphor for who you are and should reveal your personality. And again, you need to show cause and effect. You need to show how your curiosity in one area has influenced your growth in other spheres. So, for example, maybe your search for the best dumpling in town has led you to create a dumpling review podcast, which in turn helped you improve your public speaking skills. In this example, we have a cause and effect connection that makes sense. Curiosity about the city's best dumpling led to the development of strong public speaking abilities, making what might at first seem like a trivial pursuit actually quite meaningful. My point is that you should look within yourself to find that moment when you are insatiably striving to learn something or grow in some way, and then reveal the intensity of your interest and the way the spirit of curiosity continues to manifest in your life. Good luck with your brainstorming and indeed with your writing. If you need some inspiration, don't forget to download our free book of 50 sample HBS essays linked below, and stay tuned for our next video while we share one of those sample essays and break down why it worked.